Well, I'm Ken Collins, Director of LabWorks Architecture.
And I'm Joanne Kelly, and I'm an associate at LabWorks Architecture. And we're both registered architects.
And we're from New Zealand.
Initially, Ken gave me this email which encouraged us to enter into the S-Lab competition. And so we chose two of our most recent, most successful projects and chose them to put them in.
I spent a reasonable amount of time looking at laboratory design and travelling, so involved with Labs 21 in the USA, have been lecturing on lab design in Australia and Asia as well as the US, and have of course met Peter at the Labs 21 conferences, and it seemed a good opportunity not only to enter but also to travel and have a look at lab design and learn again from what's happening in the UK. So, another flavour, if you like.
One of the things that's really come out of this conference for me is that we're actually doing what everyone over here is doing, which is really good, because sometimes when you're in New Zealand you feel a little bit remote and isolated. And the first speaker yesterday started talking about collaboration and people working together, and that's what all Scion was about, and it was really good that actually we were doing it already. Scion is a research organisation based in Rotorua. They had an existing laboratory which was built in the late 60s and not much had been done to it. So they had two separate buildings and they wanted to bring it all together and bring it up to a more modern, successful building. And so that's what my project was. And we worked on it over a period of 18 months to 2 years. And it's now completed and everyone's in and they're all very happy. It's fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Some of the drivers that we encouraged at the Scion project are the drivers that we try and encourage in all our projects, and I think the Scion project was really successful. It was an open plan as much as possible, circulation through and around the labs depending on contamination and sample integrity, and a spine of support corridor spaces from balance rooms to centrifuge rooms to freezers. We try very hard to have open, transparent labs, and we achieved that with this job. And of course, we were lucky enough that it won.
Yeah, it's fantastic for the client.
The second project is from Victoria University in Wellington, the Alan McDermott building, a project that's in collaboration with other architects. Jasmax, a leading New Zealand practice, was the lead architect, and us at LabWorks support and lab specialists. There were several other consultants involved. A much bigger project than the Scion project, a multi-storey building, physical science labs as well as biological labs, and a lot of teaching spaces for universities, so quite a different flavour of project. Again, very successful, highly innovative building. It's actually won an awful lot of awards, and this time it was pipped at the post, so but a fun project. The conference has been very enjoyable, and it's been broad in its themes. I've just come back from a session on freezer storage, and in fact the Rosalind Institute I visited a few days ago, and it was fascinating to see how they're storing huge numbers of freezers and containment of, I think in one room they've got 100 freezers, and that's a problem we have in New Zealand. So that was absolutely on track of what we needed to see. Other discussions around the collaboration, and of course it's inspiring to see other people's solutions in other buildings, and we've got to say HOK's work, I think buildings like the Creek, fabulous. And it's
quite inspiring, really.
Quite inspiring. So we're learning new things, where we're benchmarking our work, and we're being inspired by the work of others. So
it's also good to be able to create the connections, isn't it, of with people, but also connections with organisations and see what those organisations are doing.
Yeah.
So I went to one, and it was someone based in Denmark, and they were talking about a whole energy efficiency campaign that they introduced into the university and the success of it, and you sort of think, oh gosh, if we meet a client who's a university, do you think we could encourage them in the same sort of way? And I think even though it's not directly related to designing or renovating a laboratory, it's still moving towards the right direction.
Yeah.
So I think things like that, there's sort of those one-off things that come out of a conference like this are really good.
Yes, I think so. And I'm going to have a heavy suitcase of trade literature, products that we do see but are not as available in New Zealand. So, we're taking some of those things back with us. We look forward to the next conference.
Yeah.